I've been trying to find out about this lost episode of The Simpsons. The number was 7G06 and the title was Dead Bart. I managed to follow Matt, the creator of The Simpsons, and asked him about the lost episode. But when I did, he looked like he was in a panic and started trembling. He grabbed a piece of paper, wrote something on it, and handed it to me. He begged me to never mention the episode again. I looked at the paper and on it was a website address. I went home and typed the link into my computer. I clicked on it and a file started downloading. Once the file was downloaded, my computer went crazy. It was the worst virus I have ever seen. I copied the file onto a CD, and when I inserted it into my computer, there was an episode of The Simpsons on it. It started like any other episode, but the quality was really poor. It was really strange. The episode seemed normal, but the way the characters behaved was a little off. Homer seemed angrier, Marge seemed depressed, Lisa looked anxious, Bart seemed to be having a genuine anger and hatred to his parents. It then cut to the Simpsons family going on a plane trip. Like usual, Bart was getting into mischief. But when the plane was about 50 feet off the ground, Bart broke a window on the plane and was sucked out. Then came the horrible scene. Bart's dead body was barely recognizable. And the worst part, it looked hyper-realistic. It was believed that it was Matt Groening's idea to represent life in animated form. Act 1 ended with a shot of Bart's corpse. Act 2 started with Homer, Marge, and Lisa sitting at the table, crying. However, their crying seemed to never end, and it looked and sounded hyper-realistic. There was a slight murmuring in the background, and you could see faces looking through the kitchen window. However, it was impossible to distinguish them. The characters stretched and blurred. They looked like deformed shadows with random bright colors. Then it cuts to black, then shows a message saying 1 year later. Act 3 started with Homer, Marge, and Lisa skeletally thin and still sitting at the table. There was no sign of Maggie or the pets. They decided to visit Bart's grave. Springfield looked completely deserted. As they walked to the cemetery, the houses became more and more decrepit. They all looked abandoned. When they got to the grave, Bart's body was laying in front of his tombstone, and it looked like the one from Act 1. The family started crying again. Eventually, they stopped and stared at Bart's body. The camera then zooms into Homer's face. Then Homer tells a joke, but it's not audible in the version I saw. You can't tell what Homer is saying. The screen then cuts to black. I was so terrified by what I saw, I ran to my room and locked the door until it was night. When I went to the area where my computer was, I heard a loud, blood-curdling scream. It scared me so bad that I tripped and fell down the stairs. I broke my arm, my left arm, and started screaming. I heard breathing coming from my room. I looked inside, and there was no one there. I tried going to the kitchen, and again, there was no one there. Then I saw something in the area of my computer, what looked like a yellow figure with yellow hair, red shirt, blue shorts, and blue shoes. My computer was completely destroyed. I ran to another room and I found my ray gun. I picked it up, then my door fell to the ground, and the yellow figure was there. He had no pupils and he looked like a zombie, and he was covered in blood. He ran right up to me and I immediately turned on my ray gun and shot him in the head. Blood then splattered all over the house. I was so glad that I survived from that strange experience. I destroyed the disc and ripped the paper that Matt gave me. I threw away my old computer and I went to the doctor. I went to see Dr. Rousbro to fix my broken arm. I bought a new computer, and that was the weirdest experience I will never forget in my entire life.